What's up, guys? I'm here in Chicago, UFC 319. My weight class division, the title fight. I'll be the next one because I think Khamzat will win, and I'll be the next one to stop the war. Let's go, Chicago. I see you soon.
Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis. The advantage of this.
What I told the UFC, if you want me to fight Sean, I'm ready. If you want me to fight Khamzat, I'm ready. If you want me to fight Robert, I'm ready. Both Sean and Khamzat are my friends. But when we come in this level of the sport and in this position of top 5, top 6, one fight away of a title fight, we are not in the position to choose any fight. So I think everybody will understand it's just business and we're here to fight. That's what we do.
Caio Borralho sends a clear warning message to Khamzat Chimaev. I know Khamzat Chimaev's system. Here's how I'll beat him. What's up, fight fans? That bombshell warning just dropped from Brazilian contender Caio Borralho, and he's not stopping there. He's calling out champion Khamzat Chimaev with insider knowledge that has the entire MMA world buzzing.
I'll pick Caio for this fight, but I think it'd be, and also it's a well-matched fight, like I said, but I think it'd be edged out by Caio. They're fighting in France as well. Ooh, home court advantage. I don't know how that's going to play with Nasruddin, but I don't think it's going to be an impact on them negatively or positively. Yeah, I'm going to go Caio in this fight, and I'm going to go decision. I'm going to go decision by Caio.
Who do you think initiates the grappling first?
I think Imavov probably does because the feet will be too much for him. The hands will be too much for him from Caio, so he'll have to mix it up to keep Caio guessing. I'm still going to go Caio, and I think it's going to be a unanimous decision. It'll be a good fight.
Plus, Israel Adesanya believes Borralho can beat Khamzat. And we're breaking down exactly why the former champion is backing the Brazilian. And you're watching UFC Central, where we dive deep into the biggest stories shaking up the octagon.
I know a lot of guys aren't out there calling out Dagestani guys, but that could be your little trademark thing. Is that something you might want to start calling out some more of the Dagestanis and taking that fight that other people don't want to take?
I can take anyone, man. I'm not gonna call the Dagestani guy. I have very respect for these guys. They're very tough. They are doing this wrestling thing since they were little. We saw Khabib, what he did, and I'm a big fan of him. So I don't want to make this like a rivalry, you know?
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Let's break down this explosive warning. Caio Borralho isn't just talking, he's making a direct threat to Khamzat Chimaev's championship reign, and his confidence comes from a very dangerous place, inside knowledge. The Brazilian dropped this bombshell. I spent 1 month in his training camp when he was at Allstars, and I know very well how he works, his system and everything. I think I have an advantage between all the middleweight fighters.
I don't think that's the way, you know, so I think the same thing. I spent 1 month in his training camp when he was in Allstars over there, and I know very well how he works, his system and everything, and I think have advantage between all the middleweight fighters.
This is huge. Borralho trained with Chimaev for an entire month. He knows the champion's training methods, his strategies, his system, and now he's claiming he can exploit that knowledge. But here's where it gets personal. Borralho made it clear. I have a lot of respect for Khamzat. He's like a brother to me, but now it's me or him. The Brazilian is calling his shot. I can threaten him with my ground game, especially on the bottom. When it comes to striking, my distance control and feints will make him shoot at the wrong time.
No, I think Dricus was more worried to defend the submissions than to get up, and he spent a lot of times just being with his back on the bottom, with his back on the ground, and didn't give his back too much to Khamzat. But I think he did a pretty good work defending, but then he annullated the other things to get up and get out of the positions, you know.
This isn't just another contender hoping for a title shot. This is a man who trained alongside the champion, studied his every move, and now believes he's cracked the code. Now here's where things get really interesting. Former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya believes Borralho can beat Khamzat Chimaev, and his endorsement is based on pure technical analysis. Adesanya broke down his prediction on YouTube. I'm going Caio in this fight by decision. Stand-up-wise, I'll give the edge to Caio. I like the way he strikes. I like the way he positions himself as a southpaw because he always has his foot in the right place.
I'll pick Caio for this fight, but I think it'd be, and also it's a well-matched fight, like I said, but I think it'd be edged out by Caio. They're fighting in France as well. Ooh, home court advantage. I don't know how that's going to play with Nasruddin, but I don't think it's going to be an impact on them negatively or positively. Yeah, I'm going to go Caio in this fight, and I'm going to go decision. I'm going to go decision by Caio.
Who do you think initiates the grappling first?
I think Imavov probably does because the feet will be too much for him. The hands will be too much for him from Caio, so he'll have to mix it up to keep Caio guessing. I'm still going to go Caio, and I think it's going to be a unanimous decision. It'll be a good fight.
Think about this. Adesanya is a former champion who knows elite-level striking better than almost anyone. When he gives you the technical edge, that carries serious weight. The last style bender continued. He attacks well on the rear side. Left hand, left leg. He has good feints as well. So we have a situation where the challenger claims inside knowledge of the champion's system, and a former champion is backing him based on pure technical skill. This is setting up to be one of the most compelling title fights we've seen in years. Let's dive deeper into exactly how Borralho plans to beat the seemingly unbeatable champion. The Brazilian revealed his strategic approach. I know what exactly he's doing. What exactly is his system, and all these steps that he needs to go through, and how to deny these steps?
I think I'm the one that have advantage to beat him because I know what exactly is he's doing, what exactly is his system, and all the steps that he needs to go through and how to deny these steps.
Remember, at UFC 319, Chimaev absolutely dominated Dricus du Plessis with a UFC record 529 strikes and over 21 minutes of ground control. It was systematic destruction, but Borralho watched that fight and wasn't intimidated. He was taking notes. His game plan is brilliant. He might take me down in our fight. I accept that. It's more about how I can frustrate him. I can deny his steps and show my versatility. Borralho isn't trying to avoid Chimaev's strengths. He's planning to turn them against him. The Brazilian believes his bottom game can neutralize takedowns, while his striking can force mistimed shots.
I think you all heard the news. So I heard that Dricus du Plessis is hurt for a period of time. So I know a guy that never say no to any fights. Dana, Hunter, you know who to call. I'm waiting.
He's so confident, he's predicting the finish. I believe I'll finish him in the 3rd or 4th round. This is psychological warfare at the highest level. But here's the reality check. Borralho has to earn his shot first.
I think this fight is all about Chimaev, you know. I think if he's with his mindset right in everything, you know, injury, everything in the 185, then not have to cut a lot of weight. I think it's a great fight for him, you know. I don't think Whitaker wrestling is even close to Khamzat wrestling. I think Khamzat is a bigger guy. I think he's in a good shape. I think even his striking, I think he can strike with Rob, you know, just because Rob is not in his prime anymore, even though he won from Borrachinha. But I think he's in a, with all respect, but he's a kind of decline, you know. I don't think he has the same hunger, something that was driving him to be a champion, to be one of the best in the world, you know. I just think he's just fighting, make money, get his family good, and I think to this kind of level competition, I don't think is all that we need, you know. I think we need to be hungry, you know. So I don't think he can match the style with Khamzat.
The UFC has set up what's essentially a middleweight contender tournament. Borralho faces #1 ranked Nassourdine Imavov at UFC Paris on September 6th, while Anthony "Fluffy" Hernandez battles Reinier de Ridder in Vancouver. Borralho was honest about the situation. No, they didn't give me their word that this is 100% a title eliminator. I think the UFC wants to put some pressure on us to deliver exciting performances. But the Brazilian isn't worried. My fight is already set to be entertaining. 2 strikers with knockout power going head-to-head. There's no way it'll be boring.
Good fight. Good show for the fans. That I think will be, because he's very good, I'm very good. So I think will be a good show for the fans. And all that, I don't think any RDR or Anthony Hernandez can pass me into this position, you know. The only thing that can happen is that if it's a fucking boring fight and RDR or Fluffy.
He's backing up his confidence by accepting to fight in enemy territory. Paris, France, where Imavov will have massive crowd support. Here's why this story is absolutely massive for the UFC middleweight division. We have a new champion in Khamzat Chimaev who looked completely unstoppable at UFC 319. But now we have a contender who claims to have inside knowledge of exactly how to beat him, knowledge gained from training together for a month.
Khamzat is there too. They don't know what to do with him, and Imavov is doing good too. Actually, I have an advantage against all the guys that should face him because I trained with him for like 5 weeks over there in Sweden and then after in Las Vegas. So I kind of know a little bit of his system and what he wants to do next and what he wants the guy to do next so he can advance on his system. So I think I have an advantage of that because I studied a lot of this. I was paying attention and all that. I was helping him for sure, but I was paying attention and everything.
Yeah, he's a fighter, bro. He's paying attention.
No. You know, I was there to help him. I had only like 2 fights in the UFC at that time, you know. Now I'm 7 fights. And I went to Las Vegas with him because I was mimicking Nate Diaz that he was supposed to fight. But for sure, I learned a lot on over there, you know. So I know what he wants. I'm not saying it's an easy task because his wrestling is like another level. I train with him. He's very, very good. But I know I have advantage from other guys to face him, you know. You see what he did to Robert Whittaker, you know. It's not just about you go there and do your camp with a wrestler.
Add in Israel Adesanya's technical endorsement, Borralho's perfect 7-0 UFC record with multiple bonuses, and his dominant win over former title challenger Jared Cannonier, and you've got all the ingredients for a blockbuster title fight. The personal element makes it even more compelling. These aren't strangers. They're former training partners who know each other's games intimately. It's like having the ultimate sparring session, except this time it's for UFC Gold. So there you have it, fight fans. Caio Borralho has sent his clear warning message to Khamzat Chimaev, backed by insider knowledge and endorsed by a former champion. The Brazilian believes he has the blueprint to beat the seemingly unbeatable champion. But first, he has to get past Nasruddin Imavov in enemy territory at UFC Paris on September 6th. Will Borralho's confidence carry him to victory? Can his inside knowledge of Chimaev's system really make the difference? Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for all the latest UFC news and analysis. This middleweight title picture is heating up, and you don't want to miss a second of the action. Until next time, keep training hard and stay tuned to UFC Central.
80-20 is crazy, though. Come on, man. 80-20 is hard when anyone's fighting. 80-20... The only time 80-20 could be thought of in fights has been in the case of Khabib and John Jones. They're the only people that have gone through this whole thing without losing. They are the only two. So you could have possibly said, well, yeah, it's probably 80% that guy's way because they never lose. But guess who else hasn't lost? Ilia Topuria. So to put him on the opposite side of that 80-20 is crazy to me. I don't believe that for 1 second. I really do disagree with Khabib on that one. That's one that there is not a guy in the world that I believe is going to beat Ilia Topuria 8 out of 10 times. That's just the truth.
Daniel Cormier calls out Khabib Nurmagomedov's bold take on Ilia Topuria's potential bout against Arman Tsarukyan. In an unprecedented turn of events, former 2-division champion Daniel Cormier has publicly disagreed with his longtime friend and training partner Khabib Nurmagomedov over fight predictions. The Eagles' shocking assessment of a potential lightweight title fight has sent shockwaves through the MMA community, with DC firing back on his YouTube channel.
Who do you think wins if Islam and Topuria fight? And do you think that fight will ever happen?
I hope it's gonna happen. And it's gonna be a tough fight for Ilia, for sure. It won't be easy, but Ilia have a big chance. Like I said before, Ilia make you either shoot him like a wrestling, which is he will stop, or Ilia will go forward and Islam has to strike with him, and then striking, we all know that how Ilia fights and how dangerous he is and how knockout power he have. So it's gonna be a tough fight for Ilia for sure, like every fight is, but I believe he can finish Islam Makhachev.
Tonight, we'll break down this heated debate between two legends, examine the fighters at the center of this controversy, and analyze what this means for the lightweight division's future. Stay tuned as we dive deep into this developing story. Let's start with what sparked this debate. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated former lightweight champion, made a bold prediction that caught everyone off guard. When asked about a potential matchup between current lightweight champion Ilia Topuria and #1 contender Arman Tsarukyan, Khabib stated he believes Tsarukyan has an 80% chance of dethroning Topuria. That's right, 80-20 odds in favor of the Armenian challenger.
Давай предположим, что все случилось, Царукян с Топурией дерутся. Ты кого видишь фаворитом в этом бою?
Я не вижу шансов у Топури.
То есть ты считаешь, что Арман
Я ударки
да?
тоже не даю. Арман слишком дистанционно дерется с ударниками. держит дистанцию хорошо, ногами лучше работает. И сейчас уже Арман слишком хорошо, у него есть материал, который он может посмотреть и хорошо изучить. Если 3 боя назад, если он с ним дрался, может, он не так опасался. Но сейчас уже видно то, чего можно опасаться от Топурии. Я считаю, что в данный момент лучший боец в легком весе это Топурия.
Ты про Царукяна?
Да, я про Царукяна.
This prediction is particularly shocking considering Topuria's recent dominance. The undefeated Georgian-Spanish fighter has been on an absolute tear, knocking out legends like Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and most recently Charles Oliveira to capture the lightweight title at UFC 317.
Usually, you're getting 2 punches, everyone blocks 2 punches.
Beat up. Heavy.
Then is when I go again, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. Shots.
Stop.
Topuria's perfect 17-0 record includes devastating knockout power that has left the MMA world in awe. He's joined the elite group of fighters who have won UFC titles in 2 different weight classes, moving up from featherweight after a dominant run. But Khabib sees something different. The Dagestani legend believes Tsarukyan's well-rounded skill set and wrestling pedigree give him a massive advantage over the knockout artist. This assessment has divided the MMA community right down the middle. Enter Daniel Cormier, who didn't hold back his disagreement with his former AKA teammate. On his YouTube channel, DC called Khabib's prediction crazy and made it clear he strongly disagrees with the assessment. Here's what the former champion had to say. 80%, 20% is crazy. 80%, 20% is hard when anyone's fighting. The only time 80% to 20% could be thought of in fights has been in the case of Khabib and Jon Jones. They're the only people that have gone through this whole thing without losing. I don't believe that for 1 second. I really do disagree with Khabib on that one. There is not a guy in the world that I believe is going to beat Ilia Topuria 8 out of 10 times.
80-20 is crazy, though. Come on, man. 80-20 is hard when anyone's fighting. 80-20, the only time 80-20 could be thought of in fights has been in the case of Khabib and Jon Jones. They're the only people that have gone through this whole thing without losing. They are the only 2. So you could have possibly said, well, yeah, it's probably 80% that guy's way because they never lose. But guess who else hasn't lost? Ilia Topuria. So to put him on the opposite side of that 80-20 is crazy to me. I don't believe that for 1 second. I really do disagree with Khabib on that one. That's one that there is not a guy in the world that I believe is going to beat Ilia Topuria 8 out of 10 times. That's just the truth.
Cormier's argument centers on a crucial point. Only truly dominant, undefeated champions like Khabib himself and Jon Jones deserve such overwhelming odds in any matchup. He emphasized that Topuria also remains undefeated, making it strange to place him on the wrong side of such lopsided predictions. This public disagreement between 2 legends is rare in the MMA world. Cormier and Khabib have been close friends and training partners for years, making this debate even more significant for the sports community. Adding another layer to this story, bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili has weighed in with a completely different perspective, specifically regarding Topuria's potential superfight with Islam Makhachev. While Khabib doubts Topuria against Tsarukyan, Dvalishvili actually believes his friend Ilia can defeat the former lightweight king Makhachev. Speaking on the Full Send MMA podcast, Merab stated, Ilia makes you either shoot him for wrestling, which he will stop, or Ilia will go forward and Islam has to strike with him. And in striking, we all know how Ilia fights and how dangerous he is and how knockout power he has. I believe he can finish Islam Makhachev.
Who do you think wins if Islam and Topuria fight? And do you think that fight will ever happen?
I hope it's gonna happen. And it's gonna be a tough fight for Ilia, for sure. It won't be easy, but Ilia have a big chance. Like I said before, Ilia make you either shoot him like a wrestling, which is he will stop, or Ilia will go forward and Islam has to strike with him, and then striking, we all know how Ilia fights and how dangerous he is and how knockout power he have. So it's gonna be a tough fight for Ilia for sure, like every fight is, but I believe he can finish Islam Makhachev.
That the next fight for UFC lightweight champion Ilia Topuria would not be Islam Makhachev, which would make sense actually given Islam's got a fight against JDM coming up. But who could it be against? Well, Justin Gaethje.
I fought with Max. He knocked out Justin Gaethje. I fought with Charles Oliveira. He submits Justin. So that everyone is gonna be like, they're gonna know the result even before the
He's
fight.
going to be a huge underdog.
Yeah, he's gonna be a huge underdog, and everyone's gonna know what's gonna happen. In the fight game, everything can happen, but it's like,
yeah,
bro, come on.